Yo, traveling on back with another video. So today we are gonna do another night sample of the Pocket 3, the Action 4, and the Action 5. At some point I won't be doing Action 4 because I am getting ready to try to sell it. But in the meantime, I am here in the Gangnam area. I'm at Gangnam Station off of line 2, and I thought it would be kind of a more festive area. There's a lot of lights and a lot of people, so it's kind of cool. But we are going to do a little bit of test walking around and see how everything looks. Let's do it.
Okay, so I am on the mic today. I don't have access to my studio, but here we go. We've got the Action 4, the 5, and the Pocket 3. This is factory settings, and yikes. 4K 60 factory settings, Pocket 3 at night looks so oversaturated. Let's take a look here at the Action 4. There is a lot of light here for the Action 4. There with the Action 5, the Action 4 actually looked a little bit better. So yeah, that's it's kind of a flat picture on the Action 5. Wow, factory settings. Wow, Pocket 3 factory settings looks horrible. It just looks horrid. I hope no one ever does this on the Pocket 3. The Action 4, 4K 60, not bad, but it does look like it's having a little bit of focusing issue. It's just not very clear, I guess. But the Action 5 looks really flat here on factory. Not the best look. Okay, so we are now doing the normal color profile, and the Pocket 3 is definitely outshining here with the larger sensor. Bear in mind, I think the normal color profile, even when we did the 4K 30 test with the Actions, they were a bit darker, as you can see here. Even with that bright light from that store on the left, it is a bit darker on the Action 4. The Action 5 looks a bit better, but we are in a brighter lit area. But the Action 5 definitely seems to have a bit more clarity, less fuzziness, I guess. Okay, let's take a look. Well, the Pocket 3 is doing well on normal color profile, but I think that's to be expected with the larger sensor. But for those of you who have the Pocket or want to look into the Pocket, this is a good test for nighttime for 4K 60. We're in a darker area, to be fair, with the Action 4, and we'll be getting to a darker area here when we switch over to the Action 5, but the normal color profile is just not getting the job done with the 4K 60 Action 5 and Action 4 settings. Okay, so the next comparison, because the Pocket 3 and the Action 5 have the HLG option, I did the HLG here. Now, keep in mind, I did do the 4 times shutter speed on the Action 5 Pro. With the Pocket 3, I went ahead and did like just a color grade. I used the auto enhancement on Final Cut Pro. I did not put a DJI LUT over it. Again, I mentioned in a previous post that I'm not that familiar with HLG and how to color grade it, hence why you probably see the picture quality that you see. But here the Action 5 doesn't look bad. Let's see it in comparison to the Pocket 3. Of course, the Pocket 3 is really exposing the face well because of that sensor. But the Action 5 wasn't looking too bad there. Here we've got the Pocket 3. The one thing with recording is that you're just not going to get a very clear background. But if you're touring around, sometimes something like the Action 5, when a lot of things are in focus, kind of gives you a better rendition of what was around you if you're traveling. But yeah, I probably should have just done double the shutter speed on that. Okay, the D-Log M challenge. Now, the only issue I did here is that the Action 4 and the Pocket 3 are perfect motion blur with double the shutter speed. With the Action 5 Pro, though, I did quadruple the shutter speed, which is why you're probably going to see a darker picture. But 4K 60 D-Log M is definitely thus far the best out of the factory settings, the HLG, and the normal color profile. What do you all think? I think the D-Log M looks the best. Yeah, here the Action 5 looks great. Even though it is quadruple the shutter speed, I think it looks pretty good. Not bad. Here you can see that definitely the difference between the double the shutter speed on the Action 4 being a bit brighter. I wish I would have done the double the speed on the D-Log M. But here the Action 5, not bad for quadruple the shutter speed. It's kind of minimizing those micro jitters. Here's the Action 4. It looks a little bit soft, a little not as clear, not as in focus on the Action 4. But the D-Log M is definitely exposing the face better than the other ones. And of course, you've got the Pocket 3. I think this looks the best with the D-Log M on the Pocket 3. So D-Log M, man. Okay, so we got bonus footage here. I did put a 4K 30, two versions of it onto my timeline to kind of give you an idea what the 4K 30 versus a 4K 60 would look like. So yeah, it is a brighter picture, like when you look at the Action 4 versus the 60 frames, but I did do quadruple the shutter speed on the Action 4 versus doubling on the Action 4 and 60. And then down here on the Action 5 on the 30 and 60, I did do quadruple the shutter speed on both. But yeah, it's not exactly comparing the right settings because of that little mishap on the quadruple the shutter speed on the 4 versus 30 and 60. But I mean, you can definitely see that it is a bit brighter with 30, but it's not as bad of a degradation that I thought it would be on with the 60 frames per second. And I just like the smoother motion on the 60 frames, even though it's a little bit darker picture. What do you all think? Okay, so here I wanted to do a comparison with the difference between 100 through 3200 ISO range versus the 100 to 1600 ISO range. I know that I was noticing as I was doing the walk last night that the 100 to 1600 ISO didn't look that bright. So I wanted to see what it would look like if we pushed the ISO up to a range of 3200. And it does look like there is less noise on the 100 to 1600 ISO on the Action 5 Pro, but I feel like the 3200 isn't horrible. I don't know. What do you all think? I mean, of course, for those who pixel peep, you probably can see a lot more noise, but for just vlogging, if you're like on vacation and you just want to kind of get a good bright enough picture, like the 3200 ISO range isn't that bad compared to the 1600. But yeah, I think it's not bad. But I definitely wanted to kind of show you all a comparison between the two and see what y'all think.
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk around here in the Gangnam area. This is a very popular area. If you know anything about K-pop culture, Psy came out with that Gangnam Style song back in, man, I don't even know, maybe like 10 years ago, I think. But I could be wrong. Anyways, yeah, I just kind of wanted to give you all an idea on what this looks like. This is, it is on the backpack strap. I don't know if I mentioned that yet, but hopefully, even at nighttime, I did have to bump up the ISO. I think when I was doing that walking test earlier, I noticed that it needed a little bit of extra, help because I know a lot of you are going to mention, yes, I know 4K 60 at nighttime is not ideal. So I might get a few people commenting about that. But it's the frame rate that I kind of prefer because of, I just like the more smoothness of it all versus kind of like the not jitters, but the kind of like, I don't know, there's just not enough frames, right? To make the video smooth when you do 4K 24 or 4K 30. Although, yes, I know, movies are filmed in 4K 24. I mean, not in 4K, but I guess it is filmed in 4K, but in 24 frames per second. Yeah. There's a Nike store. Anyways, yeah, there's a lot of westernized businesses here in the Gangnam area. Apple Store opened a couple years ago. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel as a Korean citizen, how I feel about the proliferation of westernized companies, not infiltrating, but definitely making their presence known here in Korea. I do appreciate the westernized culture in so many ways. Progressive in the sense of understanding work-life balance, taking mental health seriously, being more accepting of people because it's not technically a homogenous society like Korea. So I think in westernized cultures, at least anecdotally for me as also a dual citizen of the United States, there's a lot to glean from that. But at the same time, I feel like Korea is beginning to lose its identity in the sense that there's so much westernized influence that, I don't know. I mean, a part of me is a bit sad, I guess. But I don't know. This is just musings of an old man. But yeah, I mean, there are conveniences to having access to the latest and greatest of technologies and of culture and styles, etc. But I think the one that I really don't like is the westernized restaurants coming to Korea. They are, I know some of you are not Apple fans, but here is an Apple store. I wonder if this Apple store has an iPhone 16. I have no idea. Oh, I guess it does, because it says iPhone 16. Quite frankly, the iPhone is, this year's iteration seems like an incremental update. They actually have been incremental updates for a while. I'm still rocking an iPhone 11. I consider myself technology agnostic, but I'll show you guys. This is my Samsung watch, and this is my Apple watch. So I am technology agnostic. I love all technology. I love Apple OS. I like Android. I like Windows. I like Mac OS. I don't know. I tell my wife that it keeps me young because I have to constantly stay on top of understanding the new technology out there. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down this escalator and I'm going to cross the street, and then you'll also get an idea of what the underground will look like here. I'm just slanting it down here as we go down the escalator. But yeah, I mean, even though I'm not as well versed with technology, I have no idea how to code, and but I do like all the little gadgets out there. I suppose that's why I like camera gear. Probably a lot of you guys are interested in in technology if you're interested in a channel like this, because it's really cool to. I think the ultimate thing about these little cameras, whether it's the Pocket 3 or the Action, it's just it makes it so easy. The barrier to entry makes it so easy for us to be able to record our memories and to record mostly the good times. Maybe sometimes you'll record the bad times, but to just be able to record these things, because I don't know about you all, but definitely as I have gotten older, it is more difficult than ever to remember a lot of things. Like when my wife and I go on trips, she'll ask me, oh, do you remember when we did this? Or do you remember when we did that? And I'm like, I'm gonna have to look it up and see if I can find if I recorded it on video, because so many times I'll forget these things. But by recording and having like these little cameras to make it so easy to remember what you've done and where you went, and I think it's kind of a semi game changer. It just kind of really makes it so much easier for us to just document our life. And I don't know, there's something cathartic about it, something like, I don't know, I mean, one day if hopefully not, but one day if I'm bedridden and I don't have much to do anymore, I can just pull up maybe on my VR headset that's now like plugged into my brain directly, or who knows what, but I can just remember and go back to these videos that I've recorded for both you guys on YouTube, but also just for my own posterity's sake, videos that I don't post on YouTube, private videos, private vacations, private outings with my wife or loved ones. It's just something that's really, it gives me like a peace of mind, to know that, I'm gonna have that for forever, or not forever, at least for the short time, the vapor of wind that my life will be here on this earth. But yeah, that's why I do it. Now let me know what you guys think. I mean, what motivates you to make videos? Is it for business? Is it for pleasure? Is it to remember things like me? I would definitely be curious to know. It's really cool to plug into this community. YouTube definitely seems like the most ubiquitous way for us to do these type of things. I know there's other things like Instagram and TikTok, Facebook, and other things, but it's too hard for me to stay up on top of all those things. Yeah, those motorcycles, you might be wondering, like, what is a person doing on like that moped / scooter? But here in Korea, we have delivery services are very common, and so none of us bat an eye when we see a delivery motorcycle on the street, because we know that they're working so hard to get products to whatever, to whatever people have ordered. So no one really gets too upset at them, because we know that their job is very difficult. Let's see, what else? It's been pretty crazy in the world. I'm not going to bring up politics or anything, but it's been pretty crazy with just some of the wars in Ukraine and in the Middle East. Sadly, it seems like a broken record with the Middle East. And you got the hurricanes happening in North Carolina, and also now coming through Florida. I guess that's just a reminder, like, how fragile our lives are, and all the more important to just like embrace the present. It's just important to plan for the future, but I think just appreciating the present that we live in. You know, your loved ones, your situation in life, even whether for good or for ill. You know, like, we've been given this life, and I guess the most important thing is to do the best we can with it. But yeah, I don't know, things like that, all the tumultuous things in the world definitely make me like pause and consider, like, yeah, you know, we got to appreciate these moments in life, you know. Yeah, anyways, how's everything looking on the video though? Hopefully it's turning out okay. Maybe 4K 60 is a way to go in the daytime, but maybe 4K 30 is a better option, at least if you're using the Action 5. Now, of course, if I had my Pocket 3 attached to my backpack, that might be a different story. You don't have to worry about quadrupling that shutter speed. You know what I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna pause this video and throw up the Pocket 3. So right now, I just switched over to the Pocket 3. I am doing 4K 60, but I'm doing 1/120 because I don't have to do that quadruple shutter speed. I also made the ISO only 100 to 1600. I am doing D-Log-M, but that way I don't have to worry about the ISO being so crazy high because we don't have that shutter speed going on. The Pocket 3, oh, let me show you. Yeah, the Pocket 3 is attached directly to, you can see it's kind of a larger footprint. I do have the screen recording off, so people do see that there is a camera on my backpack, but the screen is off, so it's not as intimidating. But let's take a look and see if people kind of like shy away from the camera. Yeah. So far, so good. Yeah, so this is something else that you can, I mean, you can, I know there's a few people that have asked me, actually not a few, a decent amount of people on each of my videos have been asking me, what do I prefer? Do I prefer the Action 5 or do I prefer the Pocket 3? And or which one would I choose if I had to choose? And you know, I think that the biggest delineation between the two is if you can only have the money to buy one. And ultimately, I would choose a Pocket 3. But if you live in inclement weather, you live in a place with inclement weather, lots of rain, etc., then you are going to want to reconsider going with the Action 5. Now that the Action 5 can perform better at nighttime, I know I haven't done the night mode. I'll have to do that on a different video. I don't usually like those special night modes on the cameras, but we'll have to save that for another video, I guess. But yeah, going back to that question with what do you ultimately prefer? Yeah, if you don't have the funds to own both, and the Action 5 barrier to entry is going to be more affordable than the Pocket 3, and I would say don't worry about getting the Pocket 3 and thinking that the Pocket 4 will be coming out. DJI, from the Pocket 2 to the Pocket 3, I think it was like 3 years. So I don't foresee a Pocket 4 at least until 2026. I mean, they could come out with 2025, but I don't know. I'm doubting it. I'm gonna have to put up some voice isolation up here because I just walked by a lot of music. But anyways, hopefully that won't be a copyright issue. But yeah, how are people? I haven't been I've been jabbering this whole time. I haven't even been paying attention if people have been reacting negatively towards the Pocket 3. I am going to go down to indoors somewhat soon, and we'll see how people respond and how the Pocket 3 does indoors. But this is probably, if you have a Pocket 3, this is probably the most semi-incognito way you can record. And with the screen being off, that does help a little bit with people feeling awkward around you. But yeah, to answer the Action 5 Pocket 3, I think the Action 5 has proven itself. The upgrades with the night quality, the fact that if you do want to get stabilized footage, you can always get a mechanical gimbal like the Hohem i34 Pro. It's just a more versatile camera. If I didn't have the funds to get the Pocket 3 because of the cost, I would definitely choose the Action 5. Now remember, that's if I didn't have the funds. But if I had to choose, if push comes to shove, I would go with the Pocket 3. I don't know. Does that clarify things a little bit? Hopefully so. This is a pretty dark area here. So how's the Pocket 3 looking? The attachment that I'm using currently is the actual DJI branded attachment. I think it's like the adapter. They call it something adapter, but they do make third-party. I have two other third-party mechanisms to help me strap this to the backpack strap. But I feel most safest with the DJI branded one, just because it's made by DJI and the quality is really good. I do have like a hanging like little strap on my Pocket 3, and it's like swinging back and forth, so it's definitely causing attention to it. So if I didn't have that strap on, it'd even be more incognito. But okay, now I'm in like the underground shopping area of Gangnam Station. How's the quality? One thing that you want to remember is whatever country you go to, you're going to either deal with 50 hertz or 60 hertz. And even like say in Japan, some cities are 50 hertz, some cities are 60 hertz. And so I have seen YouTube vloggers when they travel not set their cameras correctly. Right now I have it set on 60 hertz, which a lot of westernized countries, or at least America does. Europe, I think Europe does 50 hertz. Anyway, the whole point of me mentioning this is that you want to remember, if you don't set the correct setting, you're going to get flickering of the lights. Anyways, I do have to get over here online too. Let's swipe through here. Which direction am I going? Yep, this is a direction. It's gonna be pretty crowded in here in the subway, so I think I'm going to turn this off. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And let me know, if you are watching this video, let me know your favorite ice cream flavor. My favorite ice cream flavor is mint chocolate chip. Yo, so I guess I decided not to completely end this video I am actually recording on the Action 5. And I thought, you know, I'm going to be renting I'm going to be renting a city bike. It's part of my climate card that I have with the city of Seoul. So you pay a monthly payment plan, and then it's per month. They actually don't renew it, so that's really nice. But each month you can pay X amount of dollars. It's like 65,000 won. And what that does is it allows you, hold on, let me swipe here. It allows you to, what am I saying? Yeah, it allows you to ride the subway, the bus, and rent the city bicycles that are in the city of Seoul, unlimited. And if you travel a lot in the city of Seoul, it can be a game changer. So I love it because before, like, they charge you every time you get onto a subway or onto a bus, then you get to your destination. Then when you want to go back, then they'll charge you again to go back. And if you want to go to multiple points, then they'll charge you if you don't stay within like a transfer limit time. But anyway, yeah, so I thought, you know what, it'd be kind of cool to see at nighttime how the Action 5 does on a bicycle. So I'm just going to throw that up as bonus footage. Anyway, let me switch this back to my backpack here. Sorry there, probably wasn't. Yeah, anyway, it's starting to get later. It's 8:48. My sleep schedule got a little off because I went and played some basketball with a bunch of church guys from my church here in Seoul, and I ended up hanging out with one of my friends, and I'm not used to staying up so late. So here I am, 8:48. I'm normally in bed. I know that's kind of crazy, but I'm normally in bed at 8 o'clock because I try to keep the same sleep schedule as my wife. And now that my sleep schedule is all awry, I thought, well, I'm not going to go to sleep, so I should at least be productive and record some YouTube stuff for you all and for myself. So as much as I would like to say I do this for the benefit of all my subscribers who I love and value, I also do it for myself. So there you go. As I guess it's a win-win situation, right? So, but yeah, I definitely appreciate you all. But yeah, I thought, well, I might as well just record this, and some of you who might be interested in this semi-pseudo vlog bonus footage of taking the Action 5 on a city bike might find this interesting. That's funny, those ladies looked at me like I was some weirdo talking to myself. I'm gonna slant the Action 5 up a little bit since we're walking up. Now, in the city of Seoul, in the subway system, they do cater to the handicapped, so they do have certain exits that you can take, escalators or even elevators. And there's an app that will tell you which exits have that for people. Let's come over here. Look at this. This is just one of the many coffee shops. But notice that there's people drinking coffee. I don't know how they do it. Kind of jealous. I would love to drink coffee at nighttime and still be able to go to sleep. Yeah, I was never a coffee drinker until I moved to Korea. And then I lamented every time I saw all these cool coffee shops. I was never able to really partake in it. So I forced myself to drink coffee. So here's the app that you go to, and here's a bunch of city bikes. What you can do is just arbitrarily choose one, and then I'm gonna scan it, agree to it. Now you get to use this bike for up to 2 hours, and then you have to return it to a spot that this is going to go up automatically here. You have to return it to another spot within 2 hours. But then, as long as you return it to another spot, you can rent it again. So you can technically ride a bicycle all around Seoul, unlimited all day if you want. So this is interesting. It didn't go up. Okay, normally that should pop up automatically, but I had to pull it up. Anyways, yeah, so let's get on this bike. I'm gonna raise the seat up because I'm so very tall. Anyways, yeah, so I like to take the bicycle from this exit because normally I would have to transfer to another subway station, and it's kind of annoying. So taking a city bike, it's actually faster, and I also don't have to walk home. So another win-win situation. So yeah, you can ride bicycles here in Seoul all along the sidewalks or the streets. But if you have a throttle bicycle, like with the electric bikes that have a throttle, not pedal assist, but an actual throttle, then you do have to have a driver's license to ride that. And did you see that scooter that just went by? You have to have a driver's license to ride a scooter. Now, some people own their own kickboard / scooters like I do, but some people will rent them. But the city of Seoul is starting to crack down on scooter riders. So if you are caught without a helmet or without a driver's license, the police can fine you. So that is something that you want to be careful about if you find yourself in the city of Seoul. You can have an international driver's license, and that will count towards having a driver's license. But anyways, how is the video quality doing? I am curious. Oh, this is nice. We got a serendipitous light to cross over. Very convenient. Now, I mean, I am doing 4K 60, which is probably honestly not the wisest thing to do because of the shutter speed, but I did bump that ISO up to 3200. So how's that doing? Likely, I mean, I don't like 4K 30, but in a situation like this, I might have to do the 4K 30 instead. But that quadrupling of the shutter speed, or in this sense, in this situation, the automatic shutter speed of 1/200 to 1/8000 definitely can make things a bit darker. And it is actually darker. Compared to the Gangnam area that I was at, this place is much darker. Not much. I mean, this is still in the city of Seoul, but just not as many lights as the Gangnam area. And notice also less people. Granted, it is beginning to get later. I got home really late last night, and so late that almost the subway system I was worried that the subway system was going to close, because they close, I think, by maybe 1 a.m. But I was walking home last night, or actually I rented a city bike, and this young kid, probably in his mid-20s, was walking home. He was so drunk. He could barely walk. Now, for a lot of you, maybe US folk, you all know that public intoxication is against the law. Kind of looked like that lady that I just passed might have been intoxicated. But here in Korea, public drinking and intoxication is not against the law. So you can publicly drink, you can be publicly intoxicated. Of course, you cannot drink and drive. That is still against the law. But here in the city of Seoul, they do have a lot of measures to prevent people from drinking and driving. For example, they have like a service that you can call. If you're super drunk and you want to drive home, you can call this service and you can take a taxi home or a subway home, and then someone will come and pick up your car and drop it off to your house. And that's amazing. That's something I think a lot of countries should adopt, and the service is readily available, and it really prevents a lot of drinking and driving. Sure, it does still happen, but with the taxis around Seoul, which are so much cheaper than taxis in most other countries, and with public transportation, it definitely cuts down on the drinking and driving, even though our laws on public intoxication are pretty liberal. Anyways, gosh, I am definitely rambling, but I thought it'd be kind of cool just to bring you guys along with me on my bike ride home. I do have an e-bike that has a throttle on it, so I do have to make sure I have my license with me. But the driver's license here in Korea have been digitized, so if you have the technology savviness like myself, yours truly, I have my driver's license on my phone. And I heard that they just passed a law that's, I think, going to come to fruition in 2025, very soon actually, that they're going to put the country ID, like the South Korean ID system, that you carry an actual ID card, that they're going to make that digitized, which is going to be super cool. I won't have to worry about carrying my ID at all. But anyways, yeah, this is back to my neighborhood. I did a walk over here, and I did a walk back there. So this is my barrio. And yeah, I'm almost home, but I will let you all go. Oh, look at this. How nice. The crosswalk just turned green. If I were a betting man, I should put all my chips on red, which I'm not a betting man. Okay, so almost home. I hit every green light. That's the third green light I hit. That's pretty amazing. Anyways, over here is one of the bike stations that you can drop off your bike, which is pretty close to my house. Actually, really close. So we will park the city bike. It's really dark in this area, so I'm wondering how it's gonna perform. And you have to make sure you turn that handle down. Okay, let me okay, well, it's a little dark, but hope you all enjoyed the video. I had fun making it. I hope the comparisons gave you all a better idea of utilizing 4K 60. I threw a couple bonus footages there for you all as well. But yeah, I had fun doing it. Hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you so much if you've gotten this far. In the meantime, y'all, God bless. Peace.